Great day, everyone. Jereshia Hawk here. I am beyond excited to be chatting with you today. Welcome to episode 12 of the Jereshia Said Show, where we're going to be talking all about how to add consistency to your cash flow as a coach. And just as we're getting started, I want to make sure to let you know that you're in the right place. If you are a coach, consultant, freelancer, service provider, lawyer, attorney, accountant, really anybody that sells a one-on-one or a one-to-many type of service, whether it's in a group coaching program type of format or whether you're doing like one-on-one coaching or consulting, maybe you're an online expert or content creator and you're at a point now where you want to actually start packaging up your intellectual genius and start selling that online, you are in the right place. And we're going to be talking today about really what is required and the different elements that need to go in to actually adding consistency to your cash flow and to your business as a coach or somebody that fits that demographic. So I'm seeing so many people joining on live. Hey, Jordan. Hi, Janet. Hey, Sequina. Hi, Ed. Hey, Portia. Okay, so I'm loving this. So as you guys are popping in, definitely feel free to say, hey, let us know that you're here. And one thing I want to really start teasing you guys with as we start this conversation is when you think about your business and you think about your cash flow, what most resonates with you? Is it consistent? Are you experiencing consistent cash flow where really it's predictable? You're able to understand what's going to happen month over month? Or are you in a position where it just feels like a coincidence? Meaning you really don't know how you're going to get the next client next month. 1 month was maybe booming and great for you. Maybe the next month is completely all over the place and you have no idea what's going on. So let me know in the comments which one of those words fits best for you. Coincidence or consistency? Again, are you experiencing more consistency in your business when it comes to your cash flow month over month? Or does your cash flow really just, it's a huge coincidence? You have no idea or maybe little control over what's happening, how many clients you're getting in, where things are coming from. Where do you feel like right now, or at least what your experience has primarily been so far for you in business? I just have a frank conversation. I've been in both boats where things feel like a complete coincidence, meaning like, by the grace of God, it's like manna falling out of the sky. Like, oh, thank God bread is falling down and we're all fed. Really no control over that outside of faith and belief and prayer. But, I'm not sure, I've been in both boats where it feels like a coincidence, but I've always craved consistency. And I'm even at a point now where consistency is the norm. I'm able to really project out, 2-3 years in advance what I believe my income is going to be based off of predictable measures, metrics, being able to look at past data and past experience to be able to properly forecast, similar to how big corporations operate and run. But there's no shame. So wherever you're at right now, really no shame. So if you're at a coincidence standpoint, we're going to talk about how to actually get you to a point of consistency. If you're at a consistency standpoint, we'll really start looking at how do you actually manage and maintain that consistency moving forward. So just whatever one you feel like you're in, coincidence or consistency, just pop that in the comments, okay? So one thing I wanted to, I got my little Post-it note here ready with all my notes and my details for you guys. But the biggest thing that I've seen or noticed when it comes to how do you create consistency in your cash flow as a coach, consultant, or in your business, when I talk about the word consistency, I want to make sure that we're addressing a couple different facets, okay? Because I think a lot of the time when we think about cash flow in regards to consistency, we're thinking about the number of clients we have coming in, and we're thinking about the dollar bills, like how much money is actually being generated and how much money is coming in the door every month. But I want us to also address the consistency that is required to get that cash flow, like on a consistent basis. Is our consistent energy. How are we showing up in our business on a daily basis? On a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, on a yearly basis from an energetic standpoint? How consistent is our activity? So how often are we doing those money generating activities, those income generating activities that are actually moving our business forward? So what does our activity level look like? Is that consistent? Really looking at our mental focus. How consistent are we with our mental focus as it comes and as it pertains to how we show up in our business? And, really like another layer here is, what is our consistency and positivity? How is our mental outlook? What is our perspective on how we're looking at the things that we're experiencing in our business? And is our perspective really in alignment with where it is that we're trying to go? Is our perspective serving the person and serving the business that we're trying to build? Or is our perspective on a situation actually like bogging us down and holding us back and stalling us? So before you'll ever see consistency in your cash flow as a coach, if you are not consistently showing up with a good level of energy that is actually moving your business forward, if you're not consistent with your activity and your actions, you're never going to experience consistent cash flow. And I think another big C word that we need to talk about right now is, what is your level of commitment? How consistent are you with your commitment when it comes to building your business and growing your business and maintaining and showing up in your business? Because this is a big one that I've been noticing recently. I've had over 3 clients come to me in the past month letting me know that the coaching program or the course that they enrolled in really let them down in regards to expectations, and they're not getting the results that they desire out of that experience. So they've been trying to either withdraw from that program or just chuck it up as an L, the money lost, and go find a better solution. But the reason I think this is twofold why this is happening is because there's a certain level of commitment that has to exist, consistent commitment that has to exist in order for us to get the results that we desire, which for most of us is that consistent cash flow. And when I say this, when it comes to even you guys evaluating your courses and your programs and mentors and coaches that you're willing to invest and pay for that education, you have to first ask yourself, are you all in? Like, are you committed to what it is that you signed up for? Because, if you are building a business and you're not all in and you're not committed, of course, you're not going to see consistent cash flow. It's and I've used the dating reference all the time, but if you're treating your business like a side chick, of course, you guys are never going to get to a point of marriage in a consistent and a healthy relationship. Why? Because you barely showing up. Like one week you hitting her up every day. The next week you wondering why she tripping on you and being all emotional. Like one day you might be taking her out and being all forthcoming and forward, trying to proactively like pursue her. The next you trying to like duck and dodge her or whatever. Like if you are treating your business like a side chick, you are going to consistently struggle with getting, a regular stream of cash flow in your business. But first and foremost, it's about, you have to be committed. You have to be all in. And once you are like saying, I'm all into this business, I'm all into the experience or the coaching or the resources or the education that I currently have available for me, I am going to show up and do the work and implement the things that I'm being taught, or I'm going to be implementing the things that I know that I need to be doing in my business. From there, that then boils back down to how we get consistency in your cash flow. So I think a large part of it starts with, what is your level of commitment? So for those of you who have asked the question or maybe have pointed out that there's a coincidence in your cash flow, it's a really good time right now to just be frank, be honest with yourself. Like, have you been 100% committed? Have you been 100% committed? Or are you kind of flaky in and out? 1 week you're going super hard in your business, but for the next 3 months, you don't post anything, you don't share anything, you don't promote anything, you don't invite anybody to work with you. You just go ghost on your own business. You go ghost on your own business relationship with yourself. Or have you been 100% committed where every single day you are dedicating and prioritizing your time to at least do one thing, one action to move the needle forward in your business? And because if there's no consistency in your action and consistency in how you're showing up, you're never going to see consistency in cash flow. And I know a lot of people will think, well, once I get consistency in my cash flow, then I'll be consistent in everything else, Jay. Like I'm just waiting for the money to come. But once that money comes, girl, and once it's coming on a regular basis, then I'll go all in. When they fail to realize that it operates in the reverse. It does not happen the other way around. It operates in the reverse. You have to be showing up. You have to be consistent. You have to be consistent with your energy, with your focus, with how you're prioritizing your time, consistent with your actions, consistent on all of those other things before you will ever experience consistency in your cash flow. Like, let me know if this is resonating with anybody in the comments, because it might be like a tough pill to swallow. I know that I had to have a reality check with myself when I first started my business, because I'm like, well, Jay, are you all in? Like, are you doing this? Or are you like half stepping? Like, are you all into this, or this is some like cute little side hustle hobby of yours? And if it is, no shade, like that's completely fine, but just be like honest and out, like be upfront, even with yourself, about what it is that you're doing. And I had to go, like, I'm like, Jay, if you're not going to go all in, then like, what are you really doing? Like, if this is a cute side hustle or like a cute hobby for you to have, great, categorize it as such. You know, if not, like, what is really required? What do you need to do to enhance? And I like to say, even outside of consistency, you know, when I was working my 9 to 5, I may not have been able to show up in my business every single day, but there was a high level of frequency in which I was showing up in my business. So maybe it wasn't every Monday at 6:30 p.m. I was in my business and working on my business, you know, but maybe, you know, 4 days out of the week, I was being able to get my time in. So there was a high level of frequency, maybe not consistency day by day. Exactly, Lo, like totally resonating, but we got to call a thing in order to order our steps accordingly. Absolutely. So I just want to talk about the consistency and how we're even showing up in our business. And not only the consistency in how we're showing up, but what level of commitment have we made to getting the results that we desire? What level of commitment have we made? And again, like I love looking at building a business as in the same way of developing a relationship, because I think we all can resonate with that. But like, if you are not all in, committed, where you are exclusively dating this one individual, exclusively dating this business, where you are committing, you know, basically being equally yoked, going down the aisle, marrying your business, and going all in and being committed to doing it, like, just be honest and real with yourself and understand that based off the level of commitment you have, it will also correlate to the type of consistency you see in your cash flow. Wouldn't it be kind of fun to have like a marriage party where we all like just get married to our business and just like I give out rings and like you wed your business? I don't know. Maybe we'll do that one day. Or maybe you need to divorce the idea that you currently have. I don't know. Whatever the case is, but like if you have to be committed. After you have made that initial commitment to be consistent with what it is that you're building, the next thing that we have to do is create a predictable profit process. And this is something I'm really coining this term, and something we're going to be talking a lot more about over mainly because in order for you to experience consistent cash flow, you have to be able to have a predictable profit process. And what I mean by this is you being able to have a system in place for generating clients, generating leads that results in a high level of conversion for you to have your cash flow and have the income that you desire to experience. You know what I'm saying? So another thing here is like when you look at your business right now, I know a lot of you guys said it's a coincidence in regards to how you're getting clients. It's probably because you do not have a system in place, a sales system in place, a lead generation system in place, really a system in place for you generating clients on a regular basis. And what I like to call this is having a predictable profit process. So the reason why, for every business, this is going to look completely different. And this is one thing why I really advise all of you, as you guys are looking for education outside of your scope and your zone of genius, is understand, like, when you are going into programs, you know, what might work for one business owner may not work for you, and that's okay. And it is a trial and error a lot of the time, especially if you're in the beginning stages and you don't have the data and have the metrics to show what your consistent conversion rates are. You are kind of out here just testing and guessing, and you're in that trial phase to try to figure out what is my consistent process. What is my predictable system for generating clients and leads? So in the beginning stages, it is testing. You really don't know. I mean, you can make educated guesses based off of your industry, based off of the behaviors of the clients that you're out here attracting, based off of the problem and like the sense of urgency and the perceived value around the problem that you're solving. You can make some predictable guesses or predictable outcomes or you can predict a little bit of what might work and what might not work, but you really don't know until you test it. So when people tell me like, Jay, my launch failed, my business sucks, I'm never launching again, I like say pump the brakes, because that one launch method might not have worked for you. Two, the way that you launch, you might not have properly communicated or positioned the product that you were selling. You might have been selling to the wrong audience. You might have been selling the wrong problem. Like there's so many things. So like in the first, and I said like the first few years, and I'm just being frank, like I'm entering in year 2 in my business. And I feel like I finally figured out what my predictable profit process is for my unique business. But I've had like over 8 launches. I've tested out numerous different types of launches. I've tested out selling different price point products, different types of products, different packages, different offers. So I could even have the data to go back and figure out where is my consistency on how I'm generating clients and leads. So if a launch doesn't work the first time, I just like, Thomas Edison, who made the light bulb, he like tested over 1,000 different light bulbs before he got the one that we currently use today. And even in an article, somebody asked, well, how did it feel failing those 1,000 times? He's like, I didn't fail. I just figured out 1,000 ways not to make the light bulb. And that goes back to your consistency and your perception around what you're doing. Like a lot of us are building these businesses thinking that like, if we go out there and we do it and it doesn't work, oh my gosh, life sucks. And it might suck for a moment, but recognize it, like recognize what you're doing when you're building a business. You are literally birthing something new into the world, like, and I love to look at it like a baby. It's like an infant, like it comes out of us, but then this baby, this business that we're building creates and takes on an identity of its own. And it takes time for that baby to start developing its personality. It takes time for that baby, that business to start learning how to walk and then, crawl and then walk and then run and then sprint. Like it takes time, but it takes a lot of testing and trial and error, a lot of getting up, falling, failing, a lot of investments that may go south, a lot of time, energy that is spent to figure out what's working and what's not working. It's a lot of testing. So if you're in the beginning stages, like I really give yourself some grace. And it took me, I'd say about 9 months before just straight testing, before I started experiencing consistent 4 figures a month in my business. 9 months of just testing out offers, figuring out what the heck I was even trying to sell, what problem I was trying to solve. And then I'd say about another 9 months to really hone in on like, what is this engine that I'm building and how do I get this thing consistently revved up? And I was experiencing this exponential increase in my income. And I'm at a point now where I'm really like, how do I like solidify this sales process, really understand the metrics, understand the data, understand the numbers, understand what are all the different lanes that people are coming into my business? Is there consistent messaging on all of those different avenues? And what is the conversion rate? What is that customer journey and that customer experience every step of the way? And then when you really are able to like dive into your data and dive into your metrics, that's when you're able to start creating more control, because you can see the behaviors of how your audience responds to your product, responds to how you show up in your business. And then based on that, you can just double down on what's working and like perfect that process. But for those of you who are out here who are scared, like you guys are like Dexter's laboratory in the lab, creating all these offers, creating all these packages, creating all this amazing stuff, but you're never putting it out there. You're doing yourself a huge disservice and actually like delaying the amount of time it's going to take before you experience consistency in your business, because you're not even giving yourself the data and the metrics and the experience to know how your audience is going to respond, because you never actually put it out there. You can't figure that stuff out in your own head. Like you're not the client and the customer who's going to be consistently buying from you. So unless you go put it out there and see how real humans respond to your offer, give it actual time to be tested. A lot of us quit too soon, thinking that it didn't work. And the only reason why it didn't work is because we didn't like wait long enough. And this is even like from a biblical reference. I've been reading Genesis lately and talking about how like Abraham and Sarah, they wanted a kid, and God was like, I'm gonna bless you with a child. And Abraham and Sarah were like, we can't have kids. Sarah can't have children. And like, God, we kind of old out here. And then right after like Genesis, you know, in like chapter 16, Sarah like told Abraham, like, go sleep with my handmaid, go sleep with, I said handmaid, like I'm watching Handmaid's Tale lately, but go sleep with my servants because she can maybe give a child to you. And he ended up getting a homegirl pregnant, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. But it took God 14 years to fulfill that promise to Abraham, for Sarah to actually have a child and give birth. 14 years. So I'm not saying your business is going to take 14 years before it pops off and before God actually like fulfills the promise that you know in your spirit that you've been anointed with. But I'm just saying, like, it takes time. Most of us quit too soon and try to like change up what we're doing before we've actually given it enough time to get real data to test that idea out. You guys get what I'm saying? And like even more practically here, like real life, you know, what we're talking about like today wise, like even you guys have probably noticed my Facebook Live show. You know, this is Jereshia Said show. Every week for 3 months, I showed up on Tuesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I pre-scheduled content, ideas, and topics. Why? Because I'm testing it. I'm testing to see, does my audience respond better when there is a scheduled Facebook Live with preset topics so they can like show up when they want to based on the topic? Do I get a better conversion and a better ROI versus when I'm just out here like doing my Facebook Lives randomly where it's not like preset, nobody knows when I'm going live, nobody knows what I'm talking about? I'm testing right now. I'm testing. So, and it's really about like, are you consistently testing? And are you, not only when you're testing, are you making sure that you're documenting the process and understanding the key metrics? I call them conversion gateways at every point where you're looking at what are the conversions from this to this, from this to this, to this to this. And then when you understand that data, you're able to really look at those metrics and really start to create more of that predictability. And you're able to have more control, and it gives you much more insight on where your knowledge gap is. So you know what tools, what resource, what software, who you need to hire, what training mechanisms you need to implement in your business to increase those conversion metrics at each one of those gateways so you can experience more consistency and a higher cash flow. Is this resonating, okay? Anita said, Law, please don't take 14 years. I'm in Genesis 2 and agree. We are always trying to rush success. Yeah. And I would say also, like, completely off topic, but caveat to rushing our process. The reason why, like, you have to also understand, are you ready for the success that you desire to have? Because to whom much is given, much is required. And the higher you go, the more you achieve, the more success you obtain, much is required of you to sustain and maintain it and actually keep it so you don't lose it. If you are not able to manage and maintain what you've currently been given, how in the world do you think you're going to be able to consistently manage and maintain more? If your stuff is not in place now, your house is not in order now, you don't have the team that you need now to support where it is that you're trying to go, why are you asking for more? If you can't manage what you currently have now. And I tell my clients all the time, they're like, Jay, I want more clients. I'm like, do you have a process in place right now? Like if I sent 100 clients your way and they all signed up, would you be able to service them? It's like, no. Okay, then. So like, let's take a step back and really make sure, are we consistently doing what we need to be doing right now to manage the cash flow we currently have, but also, so what are we doing right now to prepare for the next level? And so it's this constant like managing where you currently are at right now while preparing for what is to come. And I think the other piece here, when we talk about consistency, I want to add on this third layer here is, like I'd say in the first year in my business, the first year and a half, I was able to experience a lot of success financially. But I was also at a point where I'm like, there's no way I can sustain how I'm building this business. Meaning I was experiencing success, making a lot of money, but on the verge of like burning myself out in the process. And I had a conversation with a prospective client on an enrollment call even last week, or earlier this week, maybe last week because it's Tuesday, last week. And she was saying like, Jay, I know how to get to 6 figures. Like I know how to make the money. I know how to go get the clients. But if building to 6 figures means I have to do it the way that I'm doing it, I don't even want the money. Because I want to manage and maintain a high quality of life as I'm building this successful business. I don't want to make a ton of money, but like lose my husband, lose my family, be burnt out, actually hate my lifestyle, even though I got a buttload of cash. And I think that goes back into like also, what is the consistency around how you're building? And what I mean by that is there a consistency on how you're controlling the speed at which you're scaling? And also making sure that you're putting in, again, those predictable profit processes, those really success systems that we were talking about earlier, so you can scale your business and earn more money and have a higher level of consistency in your cash flow, while also maintaining a quality of life that is consistent around what you truly desire to experience on a day-by-day basis. So I hope this was helpful. Hope it gave you guys something to think about. Really, as you're listening to these Facebook Lives or listening to this on YouTube or listening to this on SoundCloud, on iTunes, or wherever you're at listening to this recording right now, the main thing I want you to walk away from is I don't want you to walk away feeling motivated or just feeling inspired, but really take one nugget that we discussed today that you can actually implement into your life, implement into your business, really actually give dedicated attention to focusing on so you can really move the needle. Like, we're not just here for the hoorah and the cheerleader, but like identify where in your business are you lacking consistency? Is it with your clients? Is it with your cash? Is it with your energy? Is it with your level of commitment? Is it with your activity? Is it with your mental focus? Is it with your perception on how you're perceiving things in your business? You know, do you understand and know your numbers? Are you able to start looking at the data? Have you tested enough? And for those of you guys who are out here like Dexter's Laboratory, maybe you're testing too much internally, but not actually going and testing it with your real audience in the real market. You know, like identify where your gap is based on all the things that we've talked about today, and just take away one nugget. Take away one nugget that you can really dedicate and focus on. Like, Jay, I'm going to focus on this area right now and figure out what needs to happen for me to increase what I need to do in order to get the results I'm looking to get in this area. So I would love for you guys to share that in the comments too. Like, let me know, what is one thing that we talked about today that really like hit home for you, that really struck you, that really like left an imprint, you know, that you really want to focus on enhancing or improving over the next 3 months. Okay. So one thing here, if you guys have not already yet joined this Selling Signature Services Facebook community, I definitely invite you to do so. It's a community just for anybody out here who's looking to create services that sell. And it's an amazing community. There's almost 2,000 people right now in that community to date. Very, very engaged, but it's really a community space for people who are service-based business owners who are looking at creating more profitable packages and really honing in and solidifying their offers so they can start selling signature services in a way that does bring them consistent cash flow. So I invite you guys to join us if you haven't already to that Facebook group. I look forward to seeing you next Tuesday at 1 p.m. again for the next Jereshia Said Show. You know, I'm super, super excited about that. And just again, thank you guys for tuning in today. Any other questions, comments, concerns, aha moments, definitely pop them in the comments below. I'll be going back and responding to everybody. And I will chat with y'all soon. Bye, everyone.